Rev up your engines!
All right, what do we know so far? The rumored pickup truck. First, Caterpillar said, we're not going to make a pickup truck. But then some guy who supposedly worked at Caterpillar said, we're making beds in this factory for these pickup trucks. Now, some people are supposing that Caterpillar might cut a deal with another manufacturer where they'll supply the engines, they're all diesel engines, of course, for a new pickup that would have a Caterpillar engine in it. But as it stands today, no one really knows, are they going to make an actual pickup truck and sell it? Now, to me, it doesn't make any sense because Caterpillar makes giant industrial machines. They make a fortune selling that stuff worldwide. Why would they get involved in the competitive, ultra insane marketplace of large pickup trucks? It's so competitive anyways. I couldn't see, it wouldn't make any sense. They'd be high-end ones too because the Caterpillar stuff costs a fortune. Realize you can buy commercial equipment. That stuff is 5, 10, 20 times what you're going to pay for a regular vehicle. So I don't think it'll ever personally happen. But a lot of guys are thinking, oh man, Caterpillar, if only they made a pickup truck, I'll go out and buy one. And they would sell a certain amount of them, but I mean, let's face it, they make so much money building giant construction equipment. Why would they want to screw around with large pickup trucks? I could see them having some kind of affiliation with another company, giving them engines, maybe help designing a big pickup, but I can't see them building their own. It wouldn't make any economic sense for them. You might have seen this and you wonder, how could it be possible? A guy went cross-country, according to the Guinness World Book of Record in the United States. He set the land gas mileage rating for a car going from California to New York, and he averaged over 93 miles a gallon, 93.158 miles per gallon, over 3,211.7 miles. And you might think, how the heck could the guy do that? Oh, conservative driving, he had a Prius. Now, this was not a modified Prius. This was a stock Prius. And it's only rated at 51. How did he get 93? Well, there's an important bit of information missing. Getting 93 miles per gallon while driving at 38 miles an hour is fine and good if you're after a Guinness World Book record. But some of us drive in the real world where speeds are often 10 miles over the speed limit, not 39 miles below. Yeah, that's how he did it. You know, I mean, they cheat with all these things. He drove across how could he drive across the country going 38 miles an hour? People must have been zooming by him, honking at him, screaming at him, you know, giving him the finger because, hey, you're going so slow, right? It's the same thing that Elon did with the stupid battery electric semi-truck. They went from California to Phoenix, Arizona, and they said they were carrying a load. But they used 3 separate trucks, 2 of them towed by diesel trucks on a flatbed. So when the first one battery died, they replaced it with the other one and kept driving. Right? They only went 55 miles an hour for like 15 minutes. The rest of it was really slow speeds. These tests are absurd. Now, fascinating that he got 93 miles a gallon going 38 miles an hour, but let's face the facts. If you drove 38 miles per hour cross country on the highways, somebody's going to kill you. You're going to run over or people are going to be screaming at you. There's always an asterisk that they should put on these things. Not a real test. He was only driving 38 miles an hour. Now, I was involved years ago with those things where the college students and people were making the best gas miles. Some of them we had 300-something miles a gallon. You got to understand, these are fake little homemade vehicles that might weigh 400 or 500 pounds. And they were generally going 10, 12 miles an hour while they're getting there 300-something miles a gallon. And they didn't go and get 300 miles a gallon. They did not go 300 miles either. They went a small distance and then they extrapolated it to 300-something miles a gallon. All these things are just showboating stuff, really, when it comes down to it. Well, the Boeing workers overwhelmingly reject their contract and they said they're going to strike. You know what I say? Who cares? They can't make airplanes very well. Their Starliner thing almost killed the astronauts. Now it's back on Earth. It even failed coming back. Luckily, they didn't put them in it. So it came back empty. Who cares if they go on strike? I say let them go bankrupt. The government has been subsidizing Boeing for so long. I have met people who worked at Boeing who don't work there anymore, and they told me this culture of basically insanity. They have to build it as fast as you can. Build it as fast as you can. We don't care about safety, right? These companies should go out of business. Let somebody who knows what they're doing replace them. Now the workers going on strike because they're not happy. Well, they're part of the problem. They make crappy airplanes, crappy spaceship Starliner stuff, right? Hey, let them go under. That's what I say. Whatever happened to Darwin and survival of the fittest? Well, I guess today it's more like survival of the fattest. The companies that are bloated with government contracts strike. Hey, let them go on strike. I hope they go out of business. Somebody else can replace them because they obviously don't know what they're doing. Now, here's something I find interesting. China just raised the retirement age for the first time till the 1950s. But listen to this. They're going to raise the statutory retirement age for women from 50 to 55 if they're in blue-collar jobs, but from 55 to 58 if they're in white-collar jobs. But men, their retirement goes from 60 to 63. So really, the women that were 50, men were 60. This is not fair. This is gender discrimination, right? But here's the thing that I don't understand. China's supposedly a communist country, right? Starting in 2030, employees will also have to make more contributions to the Social Security system in order to get pensions. Now, wait a second. I thought it was a communist country. How can you pay into Social Security to get back? That's what we do in the United States. We're in a capitalist economy, right? How can the commies have Social Security that they have to pay in? I thought the government was running all this stuff there, right? It's the weirdest country on earth, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of what's actually going on. It's supposed to be a communist country, but if you really look at it, it's got a stock market, ownership of property, all these things that the commies weren't supposed to do, right? So really, you can't call it a communist country. I would call it a capitalist dictatorship. It's obviously a dictatorship, but it's capitalism. They are rampant capitalists. That they got to pay in Social Security and they get more and they have retirement age and stuff. It just makes my head spin. I wonder what Karl Marx, if he could come out of the grave and talk about his idea of communism, see what's happened in China. I mean, they got a whole bunch of millionaires in China, hundreds of thousands of them, maybe even millions. That is not communism. I just find the whole thing hilarious. But it's interesting that their retirement age is a lot lower than ours. But they're still paying into Social Security, and they got to pay more. So I don't understand how any of this stuff even works anymore. The world has gone bonkers. Well, you know, Hertz went bankrupt. Well, it looks like they screwed over some of their creditors. And now a judge says that Hertz shortchanged its bondholders to the tune of $270 million. They went bankrupt. You know, when they go bankrupt, they got to pay some stuff, but they don't have to pay for everything. Well, a federal judge said Hertz shortchanged its then bondholders in its 2020 restructuring to the tune of $270 million in interest payments. It's a bad time for Hertz to have to pay $270 million because the company now has shrunk to $800 million, the whole value. And if you follow anything, they lost a fortune with the stupid Teslas that they're getting rid of that nobody wanted to rent. Now, and a short time ago, after the restructuring of the bankruptcy, right, Hertz was $34 a share. Today, it's $3 a share. So people are realizing, hey, pretty crappy company. And now it turns out that they screwed bondholders over. Now they tried to get out of it, as per usual. Hertz decided that the bondholders were owed a rate less than the interest stated in their contract. The court disagreed, said it was unfair for the bondholders to take a hit when equity holders, ranking junior to them, were getting some money back. There's a whole lineup of if somebody goes bankrupt, some people are on the top, they get the most money, you go all the way down to the bottom, and of course the actual people who bought shares in the company, they're usually on the very, very bottom. That's one reason you don't really want to invest in the stock market. A company goes bankrupt, you can kiss most of your money goodbye. Whatever little money they have left to pay, they're not going to be doling it out to you. The big boys will try to get it. And Hertz tried to say, well, we don't owe them that much interest. We owe them less. It's like, what do you mean? You have a contract that says, here's the interest you're paying, right, for the bond, and then they don't. And hilariously enough, now Hertz's unsecured bonds are trading at under 75 cents on the dollar, so they've already lost 25% of their value. So not only are you not keeping up with inflation, you're going backwards. Instead of going up so much percentage a year, they've lost 25% of their value already. Some bond issue that is. As usual, Hertz is up to doing no good deeds. And I'd love to see what the lawyers get paid for this too, you know. Say, well, they owe us this many million, and the lawyers are just raking it in themselves, right? And of course, the lawyers always make sure that they get paid. You may be a shareholder and not get much back, but those lawyers, they're going to get their money. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.